The winners of the Battlefront 2 giveaway are currently being announced on my Twitter page, and so a new giveaway begins, with this time a chance to win a Force FX lightsaber of your choosing, and all the requirements this time around are simply to like the video and subscribe while also turning on notifications. May the Force be with you, and let's begin with the video. Months ago, in the trailer for Star Wars The Last Jedi, we got a shot of Rey running on the planet of Ahch-To, lightsaber at the ready, as she furiously sprinted towards something. Ultimately though, this scene was cut from the final film, and left many audience members wondering what exactly happened here on the planet of Ahch-To, with some even speculating that Rey battled the Knights of Ren before leaving the planet. Today though, thanks to the Art of the Last Jedi book, we have the answer to this key scene that occurred between Rey and Luke, and a scene that ultimately left Rey angered enough that Luke Skywalker to leave the planet of Ahch-To. The scene begins just after Luke tells Rey that the Jedi failed to stop a Sith Lord from conquering the galaxy, and that the Order needed to end because of their vanity and superiority complex. In the distance, Rey spots a group of ships arriving at the Caretaker's village, as a raging fire can be seen within the village itself. Concerned by this, Rey asks the Jedi Master what is happening, where Luke explains that bandits regularly visit the island to plunder the Caretaker village and take what they need. Luke admits that many caretakers die in the process. Angered by this, Rey wants to go help the caretakers, but Luke warns her that the bandits will only return stronger and more dangerous, and that next time, Rey will not be around to help them. By helping them, Rey will ultimately doom them in the process, and the next time, the bandits will attack and kill all of the villagers. Luke then tells her that a real Jedi would let the attack happen in an effort to keep the balance and let death promote new life through the Force. Rey, however, has none of this and leaves the Jedi Temple to help the caretakers, lightsaber ignited. Apparently here, Rey uses the Force to bolster her running, just as we saw Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn do in The Phantom Menace, as she runs as quickly as possible to save the caretakers. We also see Rey use the Force to jump across rocks and over cliffs. When Rey finally arrives at the village, she bursts through the door, lightsaber at the ready, as she hears Luke yell, "Wait." As Rey enters the village square, she only discovers that there is a massive party occurring, with both R2-D2 and Chewbacca standing at the bonfire. Rey then sees that the villagers are dancing and holding glow sticks to represent supposedly lightsabers of their own. For a brief moment, Rey is stunned. She then smiles and begins to mimic the motions of one of the caretakers, ultimately leaving the village furious with Luke and his deception. As Rey goes back to the Jedi Temple and finds Luke, Rey states that she thought the villagers were in real danger and actually tried to do something about it. Luke tells her that that's exactly what the Resistance needs, not some old husk of a failed religion. In response, Rey tells Luke, "That old legend of Luke Skywalker that you hate so much? I believe in it." Rey then storms away from Luke and leaves him within his temple to think on his actions. This is also where Rey then chooses to enter the dark side hole on Ahch-To, and then again shares a Force bond with Kylo Ren. This is also where Luke chooses to enter the Falcon and later reconnect with the Force. The scene was ultimately cut because the story group believed that it made Luke Skywalker out to be manipulative and less sympathetic than he already was at this point in time. Although the truth was simply to teach Rey a lesson and pave the way for a new hero, it ultimately backfired on him. In the end, I am glad that this was cut, as although Luke refused to help the Resistance at first, he lies, and the manipulation of Rey would have only added to the complaints that this is not the Luke Skywalker that we saw in Return of the Jedi. The story group members also stated that this somewhat conflicted with the Jedi Code, as Luke Skywalker is still a Jedi at the time of this film. I do, however, like the concept of this difficult right and wrong choice, and the idea that by helping the villagers, Rey would ultimately doom them to a worse fate. But at the same time, I think it adds a lot to the character of Rey that she chooses to help them anyway. I hope that one day we get to see this cut of the film, as I would also like to see Rey jumping over the cliffs and between rocks, as I think that that could be visually very interesting. But leave what you think in the comment section down below, and would you have liked to see the scene in the final film, or are you glad that they ultimately decided to cut it? Also be sure to stay tuned on the channel, as we will be discussing and analyzing more deleted scenes from The Last Jedi, as there are supposedly up to 20 minutes missing from the final film. If you have any suggestions for The Last Jedi, please leave them in the comment section down below, as I would love to make a video on them. As always, thank you so much for watching, may the Force be with you, and have a great day.